And then they came to a stage where they said, no, we cannot go to the elections if we have the electoral data not audited. Now, there were a list and a litany of things that they wanted to see. Hello and welcome to Good Morning at DRC TV, where we bring you information about what is happening around Africa. And today we are focusing on what's happening in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, you may all know that we're running up to the elections. The 2023 elections will happen and will take place on the 20th of December this year, and there has been a lot that happened prior to this stage, and a lot of people were not even sure that these elections will actually take place. And I can tell you, the camp, that is the opposition group, didn't want the election to take place, didn't think that they were even able to pull this off. But on the group, if you like, those in power always believed that they would be elections, and they tried to reassure everyone. And it was, I tell you, from the start of the whole, if you like, preparation coming up to this, there has been a lot that has happened, that has taken place, and it is unbelievable to get to the point where now everybody knows that there will be elections, because we have the Catholic Church and other groups, pressure groups, who actually didn't want the president of the CENI, which is the organization that is putting together or organizing the elections. They fought tooth and nail for him to actually get out of the that position of presidency. They wanted somebody else. And then they came to a stage where they said, no, we cannot go to the elections if we have the electoral data not audited. Now, there were a list and a litany of things that they wanted to see happen prior to the elections. And I tell you, it was just, people just arguing in and out that, there won't be elections, there won't be this, there won't be that. If you understand the political spectrum and what happens in the DRC, you will understand. Now, let me tell you this. There are 930 political parties in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, you go back in 1991, there was only 2 political parties. Now, fast forward to now, there are 930. That is a huge number. How do you manage this? It is absolutely incredible. But what we're seeing unfolding now is the fact that we have all these 930 parties that have already enrolled, and they have already enrolled many people that are going to be voting this year. And as I said, it caused a lot of problems and tensions, because there were fractions and groups, pressure groups and opposition party, who were just not on board with the whole, if you like, system. But I think they're playing catch up, because now there is no going back. If you missed the boat, you missed the boat. But what we do know is that in 2 months' time, or less than 2 months' time, elections are going to be taking place. Wow, it is really coming fast. Now, what we do know at this stage is that the majority in power now, they have already, from Sunday, just yesterday, they have nominated their candidates. That is President Felix Tshisekedi Chilombo. So they call him affectionately Fachi Beton, man of steel. Now, this is the person that many are believing and have seen in action, who's done quite a lot since coming into power in order to advance the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, if you know history about this nation, you will understand that it has for a long time been, if you like, neglected. The country was torn because of warlords and different groups, and it is just not easy to manage this country. At one point, it was assumed that this was a failed state because it was difficult to manage and to know who's in power and what's going, because when you look at the economics, you look at the budget for the entire country, this country is 80 times, that's 80, the size of Belgium. And it's about 6 times the size of France. If you can imagine, this gigantic nation had a budget of only about 5 billion US dollars. Can you imagine? How do you solve that problem? How can you I can't even wrap my mind around the fact that, this is the budget to manage and to sort out the problems in this country. It's incredible. But what you need to know is that when President Felix came into power, Faci Beton came into power in 2018, and obviously he did his inauguration service on the in January 20th. Or 10th rather. And then for the first 2 years, he was always in, if you like, some kind of a struggle to exercise his powers or authority, because the coalition party at that time didn't allow him room for maneuver. So they were always doing things that will impede, that will stop him to move forward and realize what he had in mind for the Democratic Republic of Congo. And this went on for 2 years, and this obviously did become a problem for this, if you like, the president to do what he wanted to do. So that's the reason why he actually had to come up and say, look, enough is enough. And he basically dissolved the coalition. And then he rebuilt the majority in parliament, with which is now basically moving forward. But in the last 2.5 years, the Congolese obviously have seen a new momentum in place by the president, who is actually doing all he can basically to cause this country, if you like, to move forward. And we have seen that with all the diplomatic movement and moving around that has taken place. He has done so much, and everybody can see the willingness in him, and all the construction, the infrastructure that is taking place in the DRC. We can tell how the Democratic Republic of Congo is coming out of the shadows to come to, if you like, the place where it is at the moment. But this is about the election that I want to mention. I'm saying all of this to tell you that there is a mood that is already predicting what will unfold or what is coming. And that is that many people do believe that the current president will have his second mandate to continue as a head of state. Now, the reason being simply, like I said, because people have seen his willingness and the acts and the things that he has already done. Now, with obviously having said that, we are hoping, and a lot of people are hoping, that he will get the majority. What that means is that he will have strong powers in order to, if you like, that will give him the maneuver that he needs in order to get things done. But this will happen. But just wanted to inform you on this right now, that he is now the nominee, the candidate for the elections for what we call Union Sacrée. This means that it brings together about 600 political parties, even more, around about 700 political parties that are in Union Sacrée, and they have chosen him, and he's the one who is going to be their candidate. And I tell you, this is exciting times for the DRC. But I have to say, though, I have to praise the government for what they have done, every effort, their concerted effort in order to get this to happen at this stage. It speaks volume. It means that a lot has gone into it, and most of this is being financed by the government itself. I mean, they're not depending on finances from overseas, and they put a lot of things in place. And what we will have is also observers from other countries, from the European Union, from the US, and from other countries, just to make sure that the elections is fair and transparent. Yes, it's fair and transparent. But it is unfortunate that we will have to get somebody from the outside, and mainly from Europe or the US, to validate and to say that it was transparent and it was fair. Why do we need that? I don't think we need anybody to tell us that it is fair. When elections take place in Europe and America, I mean, we don't see them calling on Africans to come and observe, and then so they can give their feedback and tell them whether it is fair or transparent. No, we must grow out of that kind of mentality that they have to validate what it is that we're doing here. But I have to close that right now. I don't want to comment a lot on that, but what I'm saying is that we can organize and do things in the proper way so that everybody is, you know, if you like, comfortable with what result that we do get here. But yet, just bearing in mind that, you know, Fachi Beton is the candidate for Union Sacrée, and he's doing very, very well. And I can already see that, you know, in years to come, or by January 2024, he will be the next president, because I can see there is no opponent there. There is no opponent, somebody who's going to counteract him. There isn't. Fayulu hasn't got the weight. Katumbi doesn't have the weight. I mean, all of them are falling behind, and then we're going straight to the victory, you know, for him. But let it be you, the voters, those of you who are watching. You know, you will see how things will unfold. Please, please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to this channel, give us thumbs up, and give us more information so we can bring you content. But yeah, this is the Democratic Republic of Congo, where we are sending you this information. Thank you so much. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye now.